Terry Baggett gained an Army football record 305 yards rushing as the Black Knights defeated Eastern Michigan 30-25 at Michie Stadium on Saturday afternoon to pick up their third victory of the season. Baggett also scored 4 touchdowns and broke the single-game rushing mark originally set by Michael Wallace back in 1999. Baggett had touchdown runs of 67 yards and 96 yards, which is the second longest in Army football history. Also finding the end zone for the Black Knights were Trenton Turrentine, Larry Dixon, and Matt Giacinta, as Army broke this one open in the second half and cruised to a 25-point victory.
You know, a hard-fought game. It doesn't. You know, there's nothing about that that's easy. These fiercely competed on both sides of the ball, found a little different way. As we know, we have some personnel issues all across on every phase, and we're struggling a little bit in some phases in special teams and in some phases on defense. But guys rose up and made plays in situations, and I thought our offense, did a good job of trying to take the game over. Stayed on the field, stayed and kept getting in the end zone. We'll look at that, and we'll be proud of a lot of the things we did on that tape. But we'll also come out of there tomorrow scratching our head and knowing that we need to find some more answers. We need to generate some more good play. But the fact that the guys have continued to work as hard as they have, that are as positive about one another and as excited to play as they are. Again, it speaks to that senior leadership. I challenged our seniors going into this game, saying that this was one of those things is throughout the course of a contest, you correct emotion. You make sure that your emotion is right when you leave the locker room to start the game. You correct it on the sideline. You correct it at halftime, and you stay on it. And those guys made that their mission. They deputized some other key guys in their position groups. But they work really hard at that, and that shows. I mean, that shows. Again, it's your seniors. It's so important to them. This team is so important to them. They've got so much of themselves invested in it that inspires their teammates to be their best self. The beautiful thing about Terry is Terry can finish those runs. That's the neat thing that you see there we're not 2 or 3 or 4 yards in a cloud of dust. If we hit it, he can finish it. And Larry's getting better at that. And Trenton had one of his best games with the ball, which of course speaks to Larry doesn't have that kind of a game, and Trenton doesn't have that kind of a game, and Larry doesn't, or Baggett doesn't have that kind of a game if those other backs aren't blocking. Everybody gives, the offensive line's out there battling, and they're doing great stuff. But what are the job our backs do without the football, and our wide receivers do without the football is really the key to that production.
When we were running the plays, I knew that the line was going to execute. I knew everything else was going to be perfectly in line. All I had to do was run the ball, honestly, and running the ball on on that 96-yard run, all I did was run straight down the field. I didn't have to make anybody miss, and that's a sign of great execution by everybody else, and that makes everything easier.
I think it's a very big win for us, especially on the defensive side after coming out last week and getting ran over, and then come out this week. We knew we needed to win this game, start off right, and we know as an offense and defense, if we play like that every game, we're going to have a pretty good season. And so that's the start of our second season.
I don't necessarily, I trust the defense. They're going to go out there and they're going to get us the ball back. And when we take the field, we only have one thing on mind, that's to drive down the field and score every time we touch the ball. So, I don't necessarily think we have, in our minds, we're going to have to shoot out or anything like that. We just take each play, as it is and score.
Terry goes off for 304 yards, and, the kid's amazing. Don't get me wrong. This is a running back, and he's real. But, the offensive line, they dominated the trenches today. It's this kind of day, this kind of production on offense, we're going to go watch the tape, and we're just going to see the offensive line and the backups just dominate the other side and just impose their will on them. It's just great to be a part of. It makes you feel very comfortable as a running back, and it's just, I'm telling you, it's our offensive line. They deserve all the credit, if not more credit.
The victory improves Army to 3-4 on the season. Army will next be in action next Saturday on the road at Temple. That's a 1 o'clock kick time coverage across the Army Sports Network beginning at 11 a.m. with the Army Football Tailgate Show. But the final score from Michie Stadium, West Point, New York, Army 50, Eastern Michigan 25. For Night Vision, I'm Rich DeMarco.